Dark Ritual into Mixing. I think they have Dark Ritual into Mixing or equivalent, and they are thinking about whether to walk into the Once Upon a Time or not. We have about 30% chance to hit. Or actually, I've done the math for this before because I had a player assault at me. It's about 25% to hit after one has been discarded. That is notably quite good. We didn't hit, unfortunately. I think we take the well, if they have it, they have it. I think. I think we notably take the Reclaimer Hope and clench for a turn. Nice. Okay, that's good. Wow. All right, we're in good shape now. Notably, the bog is on the bottom too, but I think here, do we care about the Caracas? I think we save the Caracas in case it matters. Like, this can be hit anime dead, but that's a little more fringe. Like, our line there was if they have it, they have it, right? Sure. What's going on here? Are they just not playing around bog? This is actually kind of cool interaction here. Bog. Our endurance comes back. Uh, Debating if we want to bog ourselves. Like, are these cards we want? Probably. A nice interaction to have is like when the bog is in the yard, you endurance yourself and put it back in the deck. But didn't get to do it here, unfortunately. Can we play the land? Play the shepherd. Pass. And go. Sure. I think the game is probably over from here. Outside of something crazy. Like, we're gonna do a ton of damage here, and then if we hit a land drop, they're just dead. Or Once Upon a Time for the guy's cradle. Alright, glad to see Reanimator still a good matchup, despite all the cards that we cut for the matchup, right? Like, let's take a quick look. Agent, not really good. Can't even board it in because it's a liability. Mindbird Trap, like, we had to mull a hand because of it. That feels kind of bad, right? If it's the rest, I'd probably keep. What else? Like, Maul, not good. Like, although this is like fringe if you're rolling removal against these kind of decks. And then obviously the endurance is still good, but I think the matchup is probably still fine. You just have to dodge some of their nut draws like a few times here and there. But all right, we are 2-1. I'm gonna use a quick restroom break again because I drank so much water. But I'll be back in a minute. All right, we're back. We have played against Esper Displacer Kitten. That's Yorian. We beat the Epic Gamble. We beat Reanimator. I don't think I can complain. I think with that matchup spread, we probably should be 2-1 anyways. Also, props to Deltar winning the Legacy Challenge on Sunday, I believe, and also the trophy leader at the moment. Like that is a lot of trophies. I'm kind of glad that I like don't really care about it anymore. Uh, I, I think even if I tried, I don't think I could probably do 29 trophies this season. That's a lot. Um, I think the season that I tried, I had a good start, and then I ended up doubling up second place. But again, that was a shorter season. I don't know if I could do it for a sustained time because that requires a lot of playing. Also, just yeah, just have to win a lot, like, and it's nice not to have like that kind of internal pressure. Uh, the range is definitely impressive. I know they play a lot of different decks, so that at minimum is pretty impressive. Like every time I see a trophy, it's like some new deck, right? Like, granted, there's a lot of similarities between some of these decks that he plays, but still, like they tend to be these saga decks, or Meryl Age decks, from what I've seen. Keep, but yeah, very impressive run by Deltar. Looks like it's DMT. So we are can thank the magic gods. Oh my god. Notably, none of these are even the foil one, which is kind of funny, right? I think we take the fetch, and then I think we ramp here. If they swords, I think that's fine. Notice this is like DNT because it's again free information, right? Like DNT players would use the basic planes without snow. If it was a blue player, they would use the snow planes. Free information that is being leaked. We're gonna F6 here. Sure, the old solitude because I don't have interaction line. We're gonna port presumably. Sure. I think here we're gonna play around the wasteland, play the reclaimer, and go. It's the strongest line. I think if they try to port on an upkeep, like there's like decent chance we just a once upon a time response. Depending what they do here. Jesus, these are some aggressive solitudes. Sure. They're gonna port and we're gonna once here. We don't have a great play anyways. And it's gonna feel bad for our opponent. Alright. A reclaimer, of course. Sure. I think here we're gonna port. They're gonna port us, and we're gonna do it again. It's gonna feel real bad for our opponent here. I'm just gonna hit land drop after land drop. We want the cradle. Do we play a creature here? Yes. If they want to continue pouring us, like, be my guess. I think they're just gonna run out of resources, right? Like they've exhausted a lot already, and we're over the hurdle. This is why this card is so good. This is the power level of Once Upon a Time, like making the Rashad imports look pretty bad there. Yeah, they were all in on the we gotta kill everything we touch, or sorry, kill on sight, and that just didn't go well, and we just I wouldn't say we outplayed. It's kind of like we outmaneuvered our opponent. They were all in on the mana denial strategy, and we just got over the hurdle with these Once Upon a Times in response to port, which is a blowout. All right. Anyways, Agent comes in. I think Shriek Maw comes in. Progenitus, Endurance, Bog go out. I think the Shepherds can go out. They're pretty bad. What else am I missing here? I mean, they have no choice in my opinion. I get the reasoning why they did what they did because they need to buy time, right? They need to kill pieces, keep not every single dude. I think the one thing I would have done differently is I probably play the Spirit of the Labyrinth. I'm okay with them going Solitude get turn one because they had no interaction, but I think the Spirit is pretty good. But I mean, I don't fault them for the first Solitude. It's just like you just run out of cards. You just go on that too heavily, right? And I think Spirit on turn two and just like because I think they were really trying to control our mana, and unfortunately we had to counterplay, right? We just like Once Upon a Time for lands, and it feels kind of bad for our opponent, to be honest. Of course, every time. I think we still keep. It's like it's got Cradle. Simon Nielsen was bringing up like a similar hand on Discord where will we keep it? This is just another land, and I did in the previous stream, but like it's definitely defensible to mold like something. If this was another land, right? Like this is like a mold of 6 already. So that is just some food for thought. Like, and congratulations to Simon. Actually, he got his first 5-0 on for the deck. So coming along really nicely with the Patreon videos and the YouTube videos. Sorry, the YouTube videos and the Patreon content is helping him a lot. So here we don't have a payoff, so I'm gonna leave with a Heritage Druid. Notably, the Force of Vigor pitching Progenitus is kind of nice in this matchup, but not something we really rely on. Alright, so they're on the mana denial plan again. And I don't think we actually care. So they're gonna port, that's fine. Uh, then we play the Druid here and attack. Actually, our sequencing was bad. What we should have done was like attack first and then get the free damage, because if they were playing a Solitude us there, like we lose a point of damage, right? Yeah, they're on the hard mana denial plan here. They're gonna port us. We're gonna scare them again that we have the once upon a time, but we don't this time. All right. Reclaimers. See if they. Ooh, they didn't do anything. If they trap us here, I'm like, so be it. What is going on? Why is it pop? Don't tell me it's lagging. Do you need? Alright, they just conceded. Like, the floodgates are open already. Alright, that was easier than expected. I thought they were going to be on the full mana Nano plan. Turns out their hand was like weak against us just hitting land drop. Again, this I know people trim lands, and one of the reasons why I don't, especially in this build, I went up from 20 lands plus the arbor, really, sorry, plus the bog, right, to 21 lands because I just feel like this deck, you're less punished for flood. You really need to hit land drops. It's like almost playing a control deck, right? You want to get to 3 lands at least. Sometimes 4 is even ideal, but minimum 3, which is why the higher land count. And you're even less punished now because you have 2 spell lands and 2 Boseiju, and then your fetches are like virtual lands. I just don't want to lose a game where like you have 2 lands and they port us and we're like at 1 mana, right? I just want to hit land drops, and it's part of the reason why Queen Ranger was able to be cut, because Queen Ranger hedges against missing land drops. But the philosophy now is we just don't want to miss land drops in the first place. Like we're just gonna play 4 once upon a time or 3 to 4 once upon a time, and just like have a higher land count. The Danny Sword. I feel like this opponent I've run into a few times, and they're like on these like welder decks, but I could be wrong. Ooh. I think I keep it, but I don't love it. It's like kind of dicey. I wish I had a second land. The only reason why I'm keeping it is because the Green Sun is like the second land almost. And this can at least we can visionary off of it if in an emergency. But again, I don't love this hand. They are mode 5. So ideally here we just like to do the 0-1 recovery, right? 0-1 into maybe a 4-1. Um, but again, we're not quite there yet. All right, we're ramping here. They're notably on mode 5 already, so that helps. And hopefully we just hit a land drop here. I don't want to rely on this bog. It's like real bad if they like wasteland here. Well, it's not the worst, but not ideal. I think removal on Arbor is probably one of the worst things that can happen to us here. Verdant is a little bit scary. I do not want to play against Black Faces. Could be. I was gonna say could be Reanimator, but we randomly like luck sack ourselves here into the one of Endurance, which is kind of nuts. Thank you for the follow, Alkazine. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correct. This is a complete luck sack stuff going on here. Why can't I click this? It's a blowout city, right? I don't know why I can click here. It's like lagging out. This is, to be honest, just randomly, right? A random pyroblast doing work here because I mentioned this before. We're unlikely to tutor for the endurance. I mean, I'm not gonna. It does come up. It's just not often. Um, but I play it because I think I can get away with it main deck because like you can lotus pedal it. You can like flash it in like randomly. Almost every deck uses the graveyard. Like kind of low opportunity cost. I don't really want to draw Progenitus. Is the real argument. And all right, another reanimator. The oof can come out. And the reason why the oof comes out, by the way, is because like we can't stop their early lotus pedal, right? And if we get to the mid game where it's relevant, we're probably already winning. And then we submit, I think. That's the logic for not bringing the oof. I just feel like if it's relevant, we're probably already winning. And I'd just rather it be something else, like if we're already winning, and just pull our lead further. Excuse me, not pull it further, but close the door, right? Oh wow, did you like turn one like bonanza here? I cannot believe they're just going for it here on turn one with no protection. Like we have 4 endurance in our deck. Like Jesus. But I mean, sometimes that happens, right? Like I don't think you can mold those hands. You just hope they don't have it. Still, at the end of the day, 40%, I guess. We do have Mindbird Trap. Notably, we kept the Thoughtseize hand, which I think is fine, but didn't work out. All right, we're probably losing this now. We can still draw Caracas, but definitely less outs here. Really, really. Well, I guess it's kind of even, right? Like they probably should have had game one. Un- Unfortunate for them, we had the one of endurance. Ashen Rider, interesting. We're already behind, so I think we have to just kind of ramp and just hope to get lucky here, right? Like, I don't think discard is gonna do anything here. I guess we can see more of their deck. Action Rider is an interesting choice. I just feel like it's not not common anymore. Yeah, for sure. So here they notably get the Sarah's Emissary. Um, Again, I don't think it matters. I think we're pretty behind. It's really scary though because like sometimes the anime just has the nuts and you just lose. Like you keep an okay hand like we did. Um, we just did not have the endurance there. There is a good chance like we even have 2 pieces of the hate, but I don't think we can mulligan like a Thoughtseize hand. The reason being is they're a discard deck as well, so I don't think it makes sense to like just mulligan. Like I against these decks that also have discard, I tend to not like mull to a certain card. All right, Alright, so we're dead next turn. Ooh, that's interesting. Guess we'll just F6. They already know our hand. If they reanimate something here, ooh, okay. So they probably get a Archon, presumably. Make us sack the Arbor, and then that's really lights out. The good thing about, well, actually, that's not true because if they had a reanimation spell, they could have just got the Archon already. So unless there's something else I'm not thinking of, maybe or they're misplaying. Maybe they forgot that they had one in the yard. Oh, they're gonna grief us? Is that what's going on? Oh no, they just didn't. They just messed up, I think, or they're just trying to be mana efficient, perhaps. All right, now we're just dead. There's no out now, right? Like the impression I'm getting is our opponent is the YOLO turn one type. It doesn't really change anything since we're on the play here, but on the draw, you might be just tempted to mold harder and keep like less medium hand, so to speak. Ugh. I think we keep, but it's like kind of dicey. We need one. We needed one of these to be a land. Jesus Christ. All right. Actually, possibly more. I wanted to keep the Reclaimer, but pitch the Ashen Rider to unmask. Maybe they top deck the Entomb. That's the only thing. Oh, never mind. Oh, they top deck another unmask. Jesus. All right. All right. We have outs. Our opponent has type GG. That is aggressive. Interesting. So they think they've won. Maybe they don't realize that we have a Gris in our deck. We needed to hit a land there. Jesus. We have a chance, but we have 2 turns. Cradle is huge here. Uh, but we really need a hit land. There's the Cradle. Our opponent has typed like cool GG, so they really think the game is over when it's not. I don't. Maybe they haven't played this matchup as much. Maybe they don't realize we can grist. I'm not sure what's going on here. All right, what am I playing around here? Um, we take them to 10, and we just hope they don't have anything relevant. And then we have a because then we can tick the grist up, right? Like we have to fade a turn here. Our opponent has said GG again. What is going on? Um, Jesus. Yeah, our opponent is. I don't know. Maybe they had it already. I don't know. I just said entire stream saw your behavior and left it at that. Yeah, it's kind of unreal. Like that they got that they BM me and then they got rewarded, right? But that's neither here nor there, I guess. All right, we'll run it back. It's okay. I feel like we probably should have won this game. Like, we were so close. Like we have multiple ways to win there, but it's okay. 3-2 it is. Like a lot of times this comes up game one when you play against a less experienced reanimator player where they think it's over and they go for the emissary like instead of Whistlebrand and they just lose like because they do that, right? We kept a shaky hand, admittedly, but I like that we had seized into Reclaimer because that's probably like it's a five, but it's probably one of the best fives you can have. And if we top deck anything, like I think our hand plays well there, even though it's a virtual five, right? Especially the endurance, right, which turns on, and the natural order was live, right? It could be a grist like it was there. Very tilting. Our opponent did that to us, like the the GG the aggro GG to us, when really the game is not even over. Um, this is like a mole already. I think I keep. I don't want the chance of having a mole like potentially at 6. But yeah, pretty toxic behavior. I don't know what's with our opponent there. It's not like we did anything to them either. So Hoof Shepherd Visionary Reclaimer. I think we take the Visionary here. Our hand needs some work. Oh, it's 8 casts. Sure. I think we just like F6 here. I think we're gonna flood out. I think possible we should have just fetched there to thin, but like you never know they're gonna play. Like some of these players randomly have Wasteland. I didn't think if it was worth it. Ugh, that is annoying. Need a shepherd here. I don't think we bounce. That's pretty good. With a hand like this, definitely helps that we have the one of bomb in our sideboard, right? In the collective. Might be a cannoneer here, it looks like. Sure. Hmm. I think the cannoneer being on board now means we likely have to race. Um, because we can't just like lock out their deck with a collector oof, right? Um, I think we want the mana. Huh. Okay, that changes things. A little bit punished now for, well, not really, right? Like, it's, we can't play the second visionary, but then if we had not done it the other way, we would not have the mana because we would be one short with a visionary on board here. We would not have the mana to want to besage you here. Actually, yeah, we'll just pass. So if the visionary was in hand, right, and we bounced, sure, we only have 3 mana, and then we can't actually besage you. So that still applies. So I think it's actually the same, right? Because otherwise they can just get back their chalice, right, with the Emery. Leave it to a chalice player to walk their thing into a chalice. Whoa. How is this matchup overall? It is, in my opinion, the best matchup for Elves in all of Legacy. Yeah, again, I think it's the best matchup for Elves in all of Legacy. That's an 8/8, whatever. Not that we care. We can't block anyways. Presumably, probably dead next turn. So we have to go ham here. I think we. I think we take out the chalice. Actually, hold on. We can actually take out the cannoneer, but is that like a winning line? They can notably cast it again, but because if we stop the chalice and they have force, we probably lose. This buys us a minimum of 2 more turns, and we have a lot of draw steps. Actually, I think I like that line. Oh, shit. I'm like, I like spaced out for a second. I thought we had more mana than we did. I screwed up. Oh, yeah, I like brain farted. I thought this was like lower for some reason. Well, that's on me. Brain fart right now. Yeah, that was bad on my behalf. Yeah, I probably win this game otherwise. Jesus Christ. They might have had force too. It's hard to say. Really bad punt by me. We probably win this game. I like through. Like, I think we're probably gonna go off there, right? Like with our hand. It's just pretty bad on my behalf. I like just got like overly cute and just didn't think about the ward. Or at least for some reason I thought I had the mana. I don't know why. All right. Let's try not to punt now. I still think we're favored, even with the game one loss there. But no margin for error now. Like threw a win for no reason there. If they have force, I don't think they did, but if they have force, we lose anyways. But it didn't seem like they had force. That is what I get for getting cute. Like, it was like War 4, and I just forgot about like Boseiju is 2 itself, plus the 4, so it's 6. And we technically had 5. Or, sorry. Yeah, we had 5, so. Couldn't even do it. Man. Want this land. I think we want to fetch the bayou here. And then play the reclaimer. The green sun here is earmarked for the collector oof. Yeah, on me. Uh, it's different with Alice Shepherd, but I get what you're saying. It was like just a punt on my behalf. I think given that we're not guaranteed to hit a land drop, we're just gonna go ahead and get the collector oof now. I am mad at myself. They could have Hull Breacher, just really no point to attack here. So I led with the I led with the druid there because I actually, well, my logic is I wanted to save the symbiote. But there is a decent chance the heritage has more value. Well, not really, right? Because we're short mana.
Did you feed Lou yet?
Yeah, I did.
You already fed him?
No, I did not. We're a little bit punished there for saving the What is going on? Sure. All right. I like I said, I still feel good about it, but we just have less room for margin, right? No more, mm, no more misplays on our behalf. It seemed like our opponent was all in on the chalice plan. This is quite the hand. And they're on Mortal 5, so that helps. This hand is actually quite resilient. They have turn 1 chalice, we leave with a shepherd. There's a I think the only thing we're probably scared of is like turn 1 saga. I think everything else we can deal with. And if they're on saga, we're just gonna try to combo out with glimpse. What is going on? Emery? Alright, so they're on that plan. I think we're in good shape. We can notably make up for our punt there from game 1 here. I think Collector Oob is like one of the best draws. I think we're probably just gonna cycle our glimpse for a Thoughtcast. Saga, alright. So they know about the Allosaur Shepherd. They're gonna bobble here and presumably again. They know about the Droid Arbor they already knew about. Yeah, for sure.
You didn't feed him yet, right?
No, I have not fed Liv yet.
Wasted it.
I think we're in a great spot.
Okay.
Uh, Despite the punt in game 1. So they can have a lot of constructs pretty soon. But we have like chump blocks if it comes down to it. Their forces are turned off, which is huge here. This is just a matter of their deck lining up kind of poorly with ours. The Seiju is not a great spell. What do you mean by that? Like we could have glimpsed Lumer 88, but I screwed up. What a insane draw right now. All right, we made up for it. We did full tilt. All right. My wife most generously here got me food, so I'm eating chicken teriyaki for those. I know I get a lot of questions about what I'm eating, so chicken teriyaki. We can start the next match, or chicken takatsu, I guess. Our opponent's on a second show. Don't think we can keep this either. Cradle would be nice here. Thank you. Ward was still even Shepard up. Oh yeah, yeah. That's not what I meant. I mean, I should have hit. That you're correct, Loomer 80. I didn't know what you're referring to, but that's correct. I was more referring to the fact that let's call it. We should have hit the chalice. But you're absolutely correct. Okay. We didn't have a great glimpse hand if we put back one of the creatures, so that's why I did what I did here. Hmm. Sure. We don't want to give away our hand. That's not good. This person's list is not stocked, by the way. I've paired it to them a few times. It's like a few interesting choices, I guess. Natural order works. Land drop works if they just like whiffed, but probably not. Thank you for the fall cable wire. Even one drop works, I guess. But we have to assume their hand is just nothing. We have to pray now. Wow. Okay. I did not think we were winning that game. We had a lot of outs, but the problem is not so much the outs. The problem was we needed to fade whatever they had here. Notably, if that was Progenitus, we lose the game. For whatever that's worth. I think here, let's see, how do I sideboard? Let's bring up my map. My updated sideboard shows. I don't even love Glimpse, to be honest. I think it's probably still the worst card. I don't think we can just, like, tap out. Like, notably in my sideboard, I board out Wirewood and Visionary, but I feel like that's probably even better. Yeah, let's undo that. Oops, wrong one. I don't think we actually want Glimpse. The way these like games play out. Yeah, for sure. That's a good point, Sadra. A common trend that some of these players have been doing now is boarding in Magus of the Moon, which is like actually really annoying. EE show and tell expressive iterate. Like this is what I mean. This is not a stock list. I think we just take the show and tell probably. I think we can beat an EE. Kind of questionable sequencing in my behalf because they couldn't play a land as a result, right? So let's be aware of what they have. really no need to run out everything right now. Jesus. Yeah. Unfortunately, our hand here, we drew like quite poorly. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ugh. I guess it's only fair. They whiffed game one, so we're whiffing pretty hard here. Mm, hmm. Okay. We could take down right now. They could pop that. Kill.
One more.
Sure. There's like bones all over the place now. Notably, we don't have the collector oof in. Here they can notably pop the EE, and then we have to chump with both visionaries. Part of the problem there that we play that land the way that we did. We need to get this off the board. This is a dead fetch, unfortunately. We'll bring the Caracas, I guess. This is a strange game. Like, we just have a million lands and somehow not dead yet. How much mana is that? Three. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we won't have enough to activate in case they Fury or something else. We can like start to pressure here, but if they have Fury, it's like quite bad. I don't think we can risk it. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't think we can. Don't think we can risk it. I feel that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's like very strange. So I suspected that they had another sneak attack because why would they play the first one out? Oh my god, what is going on? Don't tell me we're gonna steal this game. Okay. Wow.
That must be one of the strangest sneak and show games I've ever played. I don't think we're supposed to win that game under normal circumstances, or if they are like on the maybe the regular build. I don't know what's in their hand, but I don't believe for 1 second we're supposed to win that match there or that game. Maybe not match. The Caracas was notably very good. Only explanation I can think of is our opponent had all permission in their hand. It definitely was Monkas. Like I don't, yeah, I don't think we're supposed to win that game. Very strange. I think with this hand, I think the Waterwood. We have everything else. Definitely was Monkas. Sure. Interesting. The aggro force. I love it. It feels like they're either on. It feels like they're on Doomsday, but I could be wrong. Regardless, I think I'm gonna ramp. Sorry, not ramp. Draw cards. All right. Come on. What's going on here? Um, they are almost certainly on Grixis control. So I'm gonna play around consumes all. Uh, they have a Snapcaster. How much do we care? I don't think we care much. Oh, it could be. Oh my god, it could be a Hull Breacher. So I better play it safe. Yeah. Okay, my read was right at least. If they have it, they have it. Our hand's not getting better. If they have it, they have it. Yeah. Huh. Oh, I didn't need to do that. For some reason, I thought we were short mana. Okay, that's fine. I don't, that's annoying, but Kind of worked out actually. I gotta get attack with two attackers. Again, like I said, we can't play around anything because with the whole breacher out, it's like if they have it, they have it. If they attack, we're not gonna do anything. If we try to play the Reclaimer, we're gonna be off one mana. So I think I'm just gonna do this. Actually, cancel. Actually, yeah, we'll do this. Sure. Wow. Okay. I do not think we're winning that game. And the reason being is because we just like have to clench for multiple turns, right? I think this is how I want to board. I don't assume that they have any graveyard relevant cards. I'm eating a soup, by the way, for those of you curious. It is now kind of hot. Let's see. Our glimpse is dead for a while, and we have the Progenitus. I think we mull. I know you would appreciate that stuff. I actually thought of you. Actually, you're the reason why I mentioned it. Keep our glimpse is dead for a while, so. Here we're notably just curving bombs. This is the game plan. Hmm. Why? Why? I'm gonna fake out my opponent. I'm not gonna get Arbor. We get blown out by Bolt. That's a good draw. It's for the creature control combo matchups that can come in any creature deck actually, really. There's the consumes all. I'm surprised they didn't iteration there. I would. And try to hit land. I our hand actually plays around the consumes all, so I actually don't care here. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, our hand notably does not care about consumes all here, so I'm just gonna take the iteration that is more problematic potentially. What did you cut for the fourth Once Upon a Time? The second Burst Lore. We have almost full information, I think. Sure. Please don't have Bolt. Alright. I think we got it. No prog, thank you. I think could have Edict. Ooh, that'd be ugly for us. No Edict. I don't think we not jammed. I can't. I don't think we can wait a turn. Sure. Nice. We're gonna main phase get Arbor here to play around Edict. Hey, Legacy Council, how's it going? All right. Nice. They were up 4-0 too, so we like messed up their 4-0 or their 5-0 run, according to the MTG bot here. Yeah, pretty good so far. 3-0 in this league. Probably should be a perfect right now. I like inexplicably through this game one against ACAS. All right. Yeah, that was a dream crusher for sure. I kind of feel bad, I guess. Actually, we'll pause it. Well, actually, we'll let it run. It's okay. I was gonna take a quick break, but that's okay. Pretty full. The wife is the real MVP, obviously, for bringing home dinner. Also, probably just should not have won game two against Siege. So like, we flooded out pretty hard, and somehow our opponent like whiffed harder than even us. We went 3-2, I think. Firstly, what do we lose to? Bring it up. One trophy, one chest. Yeah. We lost to the strange kitten deck, and we lost to Reanimator that like was BMing us. That's right. I forgot about the BM. Notably here, the Once Upon a Time being good again. John be gone. I cut the Bourgeois not because it's necessarily bad. I just think we're getting into an age of legacy where it kind of feels like vintage from before, right? It's just like haymakers all over the place. Like, if you have a card that doesn't scare your opponent, it feels like the card's not good enough. As sad as that sounds. Notably, I fetched wrong there. I should have fetched the Windswept because I could conceivably be on green white depths, but they probably already know what we're on anyways. Oh yeah, for sure, bookish Matt. Yeah, it just feels like vintage from like maybe 10 years ago or so, and modern feels like legacy from like 10 years ago. All right, I think here we're gonna fire off the glimpse. If they want to force, they're welcome to. Okay, I'm I'm really afraid they have sneak attack. Um, hopefully we draw. Oh, that's not what I was looking for. Hey Adam, how's it going? If your opponent sees you're using it and didn't know what you're on, but I don't think you're losing. That's a fair assessment. But I'm talking about like just turn one, if anything else. I don't. I think we're gonna use the endurance as a lotus petal next turn and just like save it. Right? There's no like it doesn't really do anything here. I'm really afraid we're just gonna get our board annihilated here. Like they just haven't done anything 2 turns in a row, so presumably maybe it's sneak attack right now. Yeah, I think we're probably dead. Ugh, that's what I was afraid of. I think here we actually want the reclaimer to rebuild. Well, actually, let me take that back. They have through the breach. Like they're probably the really bad, like 3 ball sneak. They're probably on the 3 ball like sneak version. In that case, what do we care about here? There's a chance maybe we want the shepherd. We already have the. Actually, I think we want the reclaimer. I think we need to rebuild with Cradle. It's been good, old classic. I think it's been good. At least it was through the breach and not some of the crazy stuff. I think we need a reclaimer to rebuild. We don't have a cradle. We're probably not killing anytime soon. What in the world? Really? I think we take the draw. Shoot. I think our only line here is we glimpse and we need to draw exactly into cradle. Because the other stuff's not gonna cut it. Like we're gonna have to endurance here and hope it's cradle. And what are we pitching here? Like we have to deal with the Emrakul like right now, and if we survive, that means we probably have a whole big board. So I don't think we actually need the what is it called? I actually don't think we need the Emrakul there, or not the Emrakul, the hoof. We're just dead here now too. Jesus Christ. This is part of the problem when you're in the 1-1 bracket, I guess. Like you run into this. All right. I think we board like normal Sneak and Show, but it's just gonna be worse. Take out the endurance. Take out the collector. Oof. I think we actually bought out the glimpse of natures because for the same reasons we discussed before. Like, I don't think we can really afford to tap out. Like the play patterns, the reclaimer play patterns dictate being more reactive and keeping mana up. It plays out kind of like a Stoneforge Mystic deck in a lot of ways. I like to joke before or like use an analogy that Reclaimer is like the love child between Stoneforge Mystic and Deathrite Shaman. This is like quite good. I definitely have liked it Once Upon a Time so far. I just feel like the power level is higher, and there is some liability, but it's not as bad as like our opponent just said. They think they forgot to take cards out. Mode of thought. Yeah, this is just like roulette show and tell essentially. It's like it's they play three ball. I've seen this version, and they just like don't play any cantrips, which is just kind of insane. But that's a different story. Probably want a reclaimer here. I think the water was the next best in thing. Okay, interesting. So because most decks are on reclaimer, has Elf shifted entirely away from crop rot? No, not quite. Like one of is like reasonable in the sideboard still. Like as an extra like Kratos slash reclaimer slash like Karakas, whatever you want it to be. Um, I think here we actually take the show and tell because they're just so far. Well, let me see. There's two draws away from. Actually, no. I'm gonna go ahead and take away the Gristlebrand here. Like they have to hit two specific cards, and hitting two mana sources is easier with the sneak attack. I think we just run everything out here now. I think we're gonna go Boseiju into Visionary, and then see. Yeah, Crop Rot is. I wouldn't expect more than one, but one is like I think reasonable. I think this accomplishes the same thing and keeps up our land drops. Wow. There's an argument to be made here. We hit the Ancient Tune so they don't like have anything crazy. If they draw Pyroclasm, it's a disaster though. Yeah, I think we just hit that. So they're further away from show and tell. Yeah.
Normally, that's not a play I make, but I'm trying to think what we lose to here. And I'm thinking, like, if they just hit runner, show and tell Griselbrand, we probably lose. Like, I'm just trying to think of what we lose to, right? This is gonna be hard. This they have like Trinispheres and whatnot potentially. We'll try it, but we'll see. Sure. It's not great, but I think we have to keep. Our opponent is on the Mulligan Fest again because of their inherent all three drop plus deck. Maybe they have Chalice, but I don't even know. I think we fetch ahead of time and see what the one sees. I think we take the land draw, actually. Oh my god. Sure. I think the goal here is to kill on the same turn. Sure. Actually, what is their ultimate? Irrelevant here, I guess. We could set up a kill here with because they would have to sweep. Or they could. Yeah, I think we play this and pass. If they want to sweep, we bounce. If they don't sweep, we have to kill. Sure. All right, we're just gonna play everything. This program, Jesus. There you go. All right, we're one away from the 5-0. I'm gonna bring up the deck again, and then I'm gonna use the restroom before we try to finish this.
Yeah, I think our opponent needed a sweep there, but it's just like really rough, right? Having to sweep that board is a natural or like I don't think we can. These are the type of games I don't think you can win without natural order, right? Like the I just don't want to really find out what your deck does, type of games. Like you just win before their deck matters. I got a question earlier about opposition agent and why I'm playing it or testing it tonight. It turns out being a creature, there's a lot of inherent synergies, and this is almost like extra copies of natural order in a lot of matchups, where it just ends the game, right? Like 3 mana, target player loses. Um, Notably, being found off once upon a time or triggering glimpse of nature being relevant. It also like additional count for Guy's Cradle and natural order. Not that if you bring it up in the relevant matches, probably the games are already over, but that's neither here nor there. Um, I just didn't think we needed the idea is the Force of Vigors. I think if this were a paper meta, I probably don't play the traps even, and play the Force of Vigor because presumably 8 casts and DNT are popular, like budget decks on paper. Also, lands is quite popular on paper, even though Tabernacle is like $1 million. And hitting Saga decks is just probably the biggest appeal of what is it called? Biggest appeal of Force of Vigor. And I found most of the Storm players play online, so there should be at least in most areas. Obviously, if you live in the same areas like Cyrus or like a Bryant Cook or some Wonder Pro, some of these. 1 second. Luke, come on. You gotta. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I would not recommend Mindbreak Trap in like most metas. Online is obviously a little bit different. Like for some reason they're just like oops everywhere online. Alright, we're playing another Reanimator player. Keep. Notably, actually, I take that back. They were on oops yesterday, and they were on Reanimator like the day before, I think. So definitely our player is just like playing unfair decks. So we just have to hope we get lucky here, right? Like we have to hope Reclaimer turn 1 is good enough. It's just a random cheese win, right? Almost assuredly Reanimator. They're 3-0. There it is. Maybe oops. Looks like it's oops. Oh my god, this kind of deck. It's ridiculous. This is what I mean, right? Like there's not you're just not safe against this kind of deck. They have the pack a negation in hand. Maybe like I wonder if their hand is just completely. No, they even have protection with pack, so it's not even good enough. One, two, three, three. Sure. One in hand. I saw 3 in the yard. This matchup is One of the hardest for us. We somehow beat it actually even yesterday. And they were on this deck too. They somehow lost game one because they kept. We went turn one reclaimer and somehow they didn't have a turn one kill, and we just like untapped with reclaimer up right like, and won. And then I think we won game three, but I don't remember how it played out. But this is a disaster now. I think this is the end of the 5-0 run. So Oracle is here. Where's Dread return? It's in the yard. We'll just concede. There's no point in giving information. Like there's nothing. They even have pack like protection, right? This is like, we're losing that game no matter what. Agent in this matchup, I don't know about it. To be honest, it stops pack, but that's about it. Maybe that's okay. No, that's not true. High start. They have Leyline of Sanctity, which means our entire deck does not work, or all our hate cards do not work. Do we want an agent or do we want a random visionary and symbiote? I feel like we want the agent in case the pack matters. They don't put on Xanthus the one. Legacy Council. Actually, this is quite bad. They don't pack. So I'm gonna do it like this. To think this card almost was a Force of Vigor or a Leyline, which would have helped for this 5-0. But we're trying to hedge against other matchups and we just like did not win the lottery here. I think we just keep. Maybe we get lucky with the Mind Bridge. We don't know. We'll see. Yeah, agent is for the mirror. Because trap is bad if your opponent knows how to play. Mulligan. Uh, that's where I have it too, Legacy Council. I also think Elves is the second best deck in the metagame right now. So if they leyline us here, keep. I think I'm just gonna ramp, potentially turn one, done. And then I'm gonna Boseiju their leyline and then seize them. Unless they have it all, then they have it all, right? But this is like kind of aggravating. Namely, we could potentially have. I don't think we can keep a hand just because of Force of Vigor for what it's worth. And keeping a one of Leyline, whether that is like a visionary or whatnot, it's like kind of dicey too. The problem is they can easily just Google our list and then it becomes a real problem if we have Leyline or not. That would be one reason to play like Leyline the Void. So people just can't Google your list and assume. Probably not Legacy Council, but we'll see. We'll take a balance trade spot. Alright, we got a clinch. Hard for me to say. I don't know. Legacy Council. I'm unlikely to play, but we'll see. I'm. There's a good chance I have something to do, like personal wise. If that doesn't happen, then maybe I'll play. But as of right now, it's likely no. I'm still kind of upset at myself for losing two winning ins essentially in the first showcase, but it is what it is. Oh my god! Don't tell me they have it. Jesus Christ, did they have it? They do have the black mana because pack for Spirit Guide. That's black. Well, I guess if they have no, they could have it, right? Like if they just have a petal and then a creature, then that's it. Like yeah, I don't get what you're trying to say. 406. Like how can they not have it? Like oh my god. Jesus Christ, man. They boarded in Leyline Sanctity because they know what we're playing. It's awful. Well, one Dream Crush deserves another. We Dream Crushed our round 3 or whatever it was opponent, and now we're getting Dream Crushed for the 5-0. Uh, Again, I do not enjoy playing against this deck. I don't mind actually playing against combo. It's just like the problem with this deck, in my opinion, is it puts so much pressure on non-forceable decks. Like at least Reanimator can be. Well, I guess you can. I can play Leyline if I wanted to. Let's see. What is going on here? Where is the Dread Return? There's a Dread Return. What F6? They're playing the Memory Journey, which is interesting. They needed to hit exactly black mana source. They need to hit exactly black mana source, which is the dark ritual there. Uh, it had to be exactly dark ritual or the MF the modal land plus the Balustrade spy. Just brutal. All right, it is what it is. I think the spy was a correct take there too, because there's only 8 of them, right? Like they already got 2 packs, so that doesn't do anything to take a pack. I have to look at it again. How did we board here? So we mold that. Definitely can't keep that. We mold. We kept this view sideboard. So notably, a Visionary Wire would be another like ley line maybe. I think So the Waterwood, maybe that's like actually it would have been a visionary, so it didn't even matter. All right, back. Anyways, I think the list is pretty good. You just hope you don't run into oops. Um, I think we probably favored there, like, and they just drew the out that they needed. Like, what can you do, right? What else can I say? They had to hit one runner. Granted, the odds were probably like I don't know if I were to guess 20-30%. But we untap with Reclaimer, we win there. Um, but the deck I think feels pretty good. I think Agent notably wasn't relevant, but then it helps in the mirror, which I suspect there's going to be a lot more. Hey Mike, how's it going? Uh, kind of tired for a third league. What do you think? You guys and gals want to see a third league? So, Mike, if you just tuned in right now, we lost the 5-0 match to Oops All Spells, unfortunately. Let me double check actually one thing too, and I'll be right back. You need help right now? Well, I can stop streaming. I just finished the week. All right, we will play another league. We will play another league. We just lost the 5-0 to Oops All Spells, unfortunately. I Unfortunately that's what happens though. Like, I think for a deck that always, I don't know, it's tough to lose like that. Yeah. So I was saying, yeah, Oops All Spells I think just puts too much pressure on non-forceable decks. Like, you're just it's almost impossible to win, right? We notably threw against game one against ACAS earlier, but we've won games two and three. Do we want to keep this or no? We don't have a second land drop, so I'm gonna, like, I don't really count Arbor as a land drop. It's like more like a spell. I'm gonna mulligan this. This is like significantly better. For those who don't know, Mike and I are supposed to stream Thursday. So here we're gonna thin before we once because we want to hit a land drop. You typically just want to curve out, right? Oh my god. Jesus. Okay. We somehow missed on the land drop. I mean, one drop. I'm like tempted to just run out of the collective. In case they're on combo. Something is going on with Mookie Betts right now. They want to block, that's fine, I think. I don't know what they have, but. Oh, okay. So for those of you who watch baseball, Mookie Betts just gunned down a runner at home. What are we playing against? No, this might be the Thought Lash deck. We'll see. I believe it is though. The Thought Lash deck. It'll really show based on what they fetch here, what they're on. Yeah. All right. So that more than confirms it, I believe. Just all the visionaries. We're just short. We are short. They might just force us, which is would be okay, I think. Ugh. Um, do we bounce here? That's five. Probably not. I think we want to have lethal next turn. They're probably gonna Earl here and then hope to draw into force. The way they're playing suggests. What the heck is going on? Okay, I wasn't expecting that, but that is good to know, I guess. I was not expecting that. We didn't see white for the longest time. Okay, interesting. When did they cast the swords? I need to pay attention. It might be. I don't know. It's like it might be. When did they cast the swords? Let me look at that. What did they? Oh, they swords the Waterwood on the previous turn. It might be. I think we were asking for opposition agent to do something. I think we're gonna get our wish. No collector oof here. No. Actually, I think the bog maybe, but white. I think we probably want Thoughtseize. Um, we just board out the Heritage Druids. I think given that they're on a combo deck, probably don't want Prog here. There's like some merit for the Bog. Hey Samuel. Yeah, I'm like debating because they're a natural order deck, right? Like, do I really want to get into this situation where it could get grindy? It's just like, do I care? I feel like actually, I think given that they're a natural order deck and it's kind of a race, might be different. I think we might just want like this and just like race them. They didn't do anything notably for a while. Let's try it. I don't know what they're playing, but
We'll try. Uh, that's a good question, Sadra. The rest would have helped the show and tell matchup, but we won anyways. Agent notably doesn't notably does not do anything there. Agent though, pretty relevant here against a Green Sun slash Natural Order deck. Notably, also, I think if people think Elves is the second best deck, and the green arms race, right, not the blue arms race. If the green arms race starts, um, we take the reclaimer. If the green arms race starts, then what was I gonna say? Agent is quite good, and notably, we're the only green deck playing black. Imagine the agent is here. That's would be sad life. Except I'm not building for the mirror really. Like it just happens that the card is good against what I wanted to do right now, which is its density against spell combo, like notably the storm decks, and it's good against creature combo, which we were actually a little bit soft to otherwise. Okay, this is a little awkward. We boarded out the bog, but again, I didn't think this matchup would go long, so we'll see. So they have three in the yard now, maybe even four. I think it's okay though. Like we board out the bog. But Sadra is correct. Thanks for calling me out on that. Like, we should not be playing for the mirror, but it notably does what we wanted to do, anyways. Uh, we'll play this and see what they do. Can't imagine they're gonna force that. I mean, maybe. Alright, I stand corrected. They did. We're gonna visionary. This has to be your deck. Maybe, yeah. You might be right. Alright, the Arbor there is kind of nice because we're just going to force everything through next turn. So, what Mike's referring to is he plays an opposition deck. Um, and not opposition agent, but like literal blue opposition. It's a fairy, sure. Probably will bounce. Oh, they plus. Interesting. I thought for sure they were going to bounce, but. Like, I would think the line here is you bounce your own Ice Fang, right? Okay, never mind. That's what they're doing. Sure. Sure. So we have the kill, right? Like they have to force the Green Sun, and that's like if they do, then they're dead, right? I mean, they're dead regardless. Let me do it this way. Maybe they're just ban control. I don't know. No, they have natural order though. Maybe it's just bat control. I don't. I'm sorry, bat natural order with the progenitus package, right?
Thank you for the stub, Unmanned Mental Misstep. I don't know if you just got here right now. We lost the 5 to Usopp spells, unfortunately. Really appreciate the support though. You have a point, Sadra. I just think like I'm like in my mind at least the way it's working out is like because we have cradle every game, it's Ooh, this is like kind of bad. Notably, a lot better. I think we saved this actually. Why can't I? Oh! Oh! Jesus, this game. That is completely aggravating right now. I'm trying to click on the thing and it won't. Oh, that's a game losing like miss. Like I'm trying to click on it. It just like for some reason I don't know what the heck's going on there. Jesus Christ. Like this is supposed to be a visionary. Now we're flooding out. That is completely tilting. Maybe they forced that, I don't know. Maybe they do, I don't think we care. What do they pitch? Brainstorm? Sure. On the bright side, at least, for what that's worth. Looks like it's potentially not going to matter. Well, it probably still will. Especially if they have a removal here. Yep. We should have another Visionary in our hand, but Moto not cooperating. In terms of, like, me just trying to click on the object. Okay. Probably swords on the shepherd. That's reasonable too, I guess. Okay, that's quite good. So if I play that, I hope so, Sadra. I hope so. I could do that. Make 3 mana. Actually, let's do it this way. I don't think we bash. I don't think we bash. We unfortunately milled the natural order, which is sucky, but the reason why I did what I did there was because I want to be mana efficient. Well, the arbor can be useful here, but I guess I could have got the reclaimer down. But I wanted to dig deeper, see like what we draw. Brainstorm. The attack we block. Sure. Notably here, we should have. Like we should be digging a card deeper here, but it's like completely screwed over by the interface. Maybe that. What the heck? Sure. Well, okay. Made up for it. We handicapped ourselves with more modal handicapped ourselves, but it didn't matter. The biggest bailout card in our deck, natural order. What are they playing? Looks like just like Esper control maybe. Most likely they have engineer. Um, so I think I'll just board the Thoughtseize to preemptively stop that. Uh, Maybe I want to keep the bog for their snapcasters. I mean, we didn't see anything. Like we didn't see Stoneforge Mystic. I think I have. I don't know if I've done it ever on stream, but I feel like that's something I've done before. Yeah, Elves is at least this build is like one of the best mid range decks. Yeah, so unbanned Mental Mist. If you're still watching, we were 4-0 and actually won most of our games aside from the Sneak and Show one pretty easily. The Sneak and Show one we had to work for it, but um, oof, that's like a mold to 5 already. Always, Jesus. We keep, but it's not great. What was I gonna say? We lost the 5-0 to Oops All Spells, which is tilting.
You, well, I can't. I don't know. I can't speak for all metagames, but typically not the deck you see like normally in even like LGS this LGS scene. Nice. That's actually a very good. I was hoping for a land top deck there. Now we can leave with our Thoughtseize as well. What the heck? I think we take the brainstorm actually. That thing's kind of like a Jace, but I don't think we really care. Arkin plays this card, Soren, with preordains. I find that pretty surprising, but I've seen crazier things. Notably, that Soren is quite good. It's like a black Jace the Mind Sculptor. Ooh, instant regret. Has Stompy dipped at all? I feel like it has. I feel like it has. I feel like it has. Hmm. Probably don't do anything here. Yeah, but the Narset is a problem, right? They might just Swords of Arbor just to keep us off mana. Looks like that's what. Nope. All right, I'm okay with that. So I think here they have the swords. Um, it's kind of annoying, but if we grist here, that doesn't even work. Actually, we'll do it this way. We're, yes, it can, but it. Oh my god! What the? Why? Why would you do that? There's an argument to be made. We should have grist the previous turn. instead of C's, but I'm trying to think what I was playing around. Oh, I guess I was playing around like I thought they had maybe one swords. I could take their swords in response. Is my logic? They probably eat this insect here. Okay, sure. I think they're gonna play their swords too. They have a swords in their hand. Their hand is known. This is awful for us actually. I think we lost a turn where we Thoughtseize instead of Jesus. Yeah, I think we lost the turn we Thoughtseize instead of playing the Gris. Like we can't get to the Narset now is a problem because of like these blockers. Game might just be over. There's like we have to hit runner. Yeah, this was a beating. The game really turned when we didn't play the Gris. We played a turn late. I'll just concede. We have to get kind of lucky, I think, in order to come back from this. Like it had to be land in the natural order. I mean, it's possible, I guess, but like maybe not. Like I'm just assuming they have Plague Engineer, but maybe we don't need it, and we can just play like Flash creatures. But then Strix is kind of bad for us too. So here, notably, they're gonna minus. They bash us for 7. If we had played the Reclaimer here, we drew 2 cards right now, but notably we would be at like 5 or whatever before anything matters, and that assumes like these are the next 2 cards, right, that we drew. Um, it would have to be like natural order, literally the next turn, and they have nothing, which is I find that hard. Well, we could have, I guess, gotten the. Well, it's not even enough, right? Even with 3 creatures, that's not enough. Yeah. All right. Do we need Thoughtseize? Maybe not. They're on like. A, maybe we dare them to have the engineer. We haven't seen much, to be honest, from them. What do I? I feel like we want seas, but they played a good amount of creatures. Uh, Against these like prismatic ending decks, yeah, maybe we just want threats. Maybe we just want the endurance here. Let's do that. Let's take the opportunity to experiment. It can be, yeah, because like the problem is it's been a while since I played against Esper. I'm not sure if we want Seas or we want the endurance plan. Like against Euro decks, it's like obvious. Like you want endurance. Against these Jeskai decks, I think you definitely want Seas. This is like a little bit new. I don't think we can keep this. Shoot, that's bad too. Gotta hit land next turn. We play actually a way more lands and Once Upon a Times than everybody else, but still hitting the fail right here. That's a relief. Land here would be phenomenal. Not a land, but I think we still fire it off. That's clutch. We get to cash in our glimpse for a thought cast, more or less, and then we'll pass. I'll take a thought cast there any day. Two prismatic endings. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's quite annoying for sure. This might draw out force. Yes, it did not. This will probably just take over the game. Do they have a third? Wow. Okay. Guess they do. This is an 80 card deck, keep in mind. But it is what it is. I think you're right on Van. I think the endurances are probably better. Like, they have just so much removal, right? Sure. Alright, so we start fresh. Visionaire here is actually solid. I think we take that. Pretend like we still have C's in our deck, in case it matters. Um, let's see if they want to trade. I don't think they do. I think we play the Reclaimer because we potentially want Cradle. If we draw one drop, we're gonna go off anyways.
don't think it's worth pitching the endurance here just to keep them off prismatic ending. I don't think we live with it. Want to poke them? I feel like they're holding force the way they're playing. Like it seems kind of defensive. Okay, that's interesting. I think we want to play around the pending here, so it has to be little. Actually, let's do this. Let's see what they do. Okay, interesting. Nice. The glint for two, probably not. To be honest, like I've seen some people hold it and they just like try to get greedy. But I mean, it's possible octologist. Like there are some people who will let the glimpse go. Like if they think they can outgrind us, it really depends. That game, I want to shout out Unbanned Mental Misstep. It did feel like more threats the better against eight removal deck. Obviously, I still board in Thoughtseize against some of these other decks that have eight removal, namely Jeskai. But I think this is a different situation here. Like against a deck with Yorion that's just trying to like, especially since we saw Solitude too. Yeah, I definitely think the shout out there goes to Unbanned Mental Misstep. Also, I have my metagame update. I know Unbanned just what is it called? Subscribe. Please, please, if you want the metagame update and you're a subscriber on here Twitch, just let me know and I'll send it to you. Most people I think can contact me either. If you can't find me on Discord, just contact me through Twitter or whatnot. I'm in most of the very popular Discord channels, so you can find me there. Or there's my you can just find me directly on my Discord too if you can't find me elsewhere. Socials. But yeah, if you are interested, just send me a reminder. Otherwise, like, um, I'm not gonna remember, right, to send it out. If you're looking for the metagame update. Thank you again for the what's it called? The gift of the little city. So this notably here is almost like a Mortal 5 already, right? Like you have a second Cradle that's kind of bad. The Arbor is pretty bad. Like, because the once is going to find a land, right? So I think you're going to mull. Always. One of these days, hopefully, Wizards. Is this a triple league? It is. We started early, and then I decided we have enough energy to keep going one more. So Star Fox, I think you were here, right? Keep. We lost a 5-0 match to Oops All Spells in the previous league.
Yikes, that's awkward. Cradle? Ugh. I think we take the Arbor as an emergency land drop. Notably here, the Once Upon a Time is looking a little bit better. We might just bolt our Arbor here, who knows? Yeah. I don't know what they're on. Lit City. Looks like they're on blue-red. Yeah. So notably, well, it's not even that great, right? Like, it would have been an Arbor and a Cradle that we had to play as land drops. That seems kind of bad, actually. And also, we just lose if the Once Upon a Time misses. I think we'll play the Reclaimer here. Shoot. Alright. If you like easy decks, I think blue red is one of the easier decks to play in Legacy. If you're like naturally good at Magic, like it plays to your strengths. Interesting take there, Unbanned. Why do you think that's the case? Here we're gonna trigger the Shredder twice, unfortunately, but I feel like we have to. It's possible. I do think the Chain of Smog combo is probably better than people think. Like, I know Jax is a proponent of it. I think based on the way this game played out, I think based on the way it's possible that first hand might have been better, but like I don't really like double cradle hand. One of the and also an arbor. Right? It has to be exactly a wasteland deck for that hand to function. And even if they are a wasteland deck, there's only 40% they actually have the wasteland. And like I said, if they like for whatever reason daze you, you probably just lose the game on the spot. That's probably fair too. Jax is the godfather of specifically fast combo, but I would just say combo in general. They probably bolt our Shepherd here, presumably. Maybe they bolt like. My gut is I feel like they're holding the bolt and they're just trying to get us, but I could be wrong. Notably, not playing. I'm playing in today's here. Oh my god, you got to be kidding me. Jesus Christ. The orders are dead now. At least that's cycled. In case they get any ideas about the Murktide region. I am not, and it's not great on this board state too, for whatever that's worth. It has to be so they did do that. Interesting. Maybe they just have multiple bolts in their hand. I don't know. We have lethal if we hit Cradle, but we any piece of destruction we lose. Not to mention if it's bolt, we just lose on the spot, right? Shoot. Decks with Ledger Shredder and Stoneforge Mystic are a little bit awkward for me to play around because like sometimes like they have like a certain hand that's like good against part of our hand, otherwise it doesn't do anything. It's kind of hard for me to explain. All right, it has to be exactly Gaia's Cradle. No, not quite. If it was Cradle, we get there, but not meant to be. Maybe they cut DRCs, which I don't know why. I think you want the consistency, but all right. We have to win two here, which is like kind of not easy. Notably, drawing again, like I said, if you draw the natural order package against Delver, how often do you think main deck Progenitus would be good in general? I think it could be often. The only issue is when with Delver being the best, or at least most popular deck in the format. I do not want to accidentally lose to that by drawing the Progenitus. Like against some of these control decks, because you have more time. If you draw Progenitus, you can actually get away with it. Against combo, it's probably not gonna matter. You're probably gonna lose game one regardless. In most situations, or if you don't, it's gonna be dictated by something like Collector Oof or Reclaimer, where Progenitus just doesn't matter if you drew it. But in most cases, right? That's I'm being also generous. Sometimes it does matter. You need the extra creature. Um, keep. I think we lead with a Reclaimer here. It's the best play. Forces them to do something. I think we'll follow Makey Ham. Interesting that they didn't do anything there. Feels like they messed up. Our opponent might not know the matchup. It feels like they messed up here. Like, end step brainstorm, you had a chance to kill the Reclaimer, now you don't. I mean, if you don't bolt, you have to like force, right? Like, you cannot let us untap with. This is like win target game if you untap. This is like a must force. All right. Let's see. How do we want to do this? We're gonna force stuff through, and then maybe they submerge. I don't know. Do we actually care if they waste our cradle? I think the answer is no. I think if I would have done it a little bit differently there. If I had thought it through earlier, I would not have fetched. I would have tapped off the cradle and leave the fetch up for an arbor. They probably bolt the shepherd now. I don't know. What? They repeal that? Sure. Interesting decision. This is where it's a little bit awkward, I think. We probably should have held up the fetch to represent more mana with the cradle. If we're gonna tap out the reclaimer, but it's possible we just hold a reclaimer too. Like it's weird because some of these lists don't even play wasteland, so I think we have no choice but the bog right now. Yeah, that might be accurate. So strong. I think they don't. Probably Grist tick down. Bash for 3. Sorry. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're just trying to like one up each other meta game, right? This is like just awkward for us because, like I said, the shredder being bigger than our creatures is something I'm not used. We're not used to playing around. Um, that said, though, play another one, sure. They do have deer. What is going on? It's just like all over the place. Like, part of me just wants to keep it in the Nash Order package now. If they're not gonna play Wasteland, So we can just go like if they're gonna go slightly bigger than us, we're gonna go slightly bigger than that in game three potentially. Definitely regretting the. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I just feel like we just misboarded here against our opponent, right? Like it just feels like we're in this middle zone, and we want to just go over the top of them now. It's not even that good. It's like just awkward for us, right? Like they're like we don't know if we're supposed to play around Wasteland or not. Like the pacing is all wrong. They have to attack, which is like interesting now for us. Oh, they have a Murktide. Two rough tumbles? You kidding me? Jesus. They can rough tumble again. I don't think we want that to happen. Well, yeah, I don't think we want that to happen. Nor do we want to trigger the Ledger Shredder here. Yeah, we the problem is we misboarded. Shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Maybe I should have played the Heritage Druid. That would have changed things here. Wait. We lost this game because we didn't play the Heritage Druid. And just like the pacing is all off, too. Like I think against this deck we want to be a combo deck instead of a mid range deck. The issue is we can't tell if they have Wasteland or not too. Like the list changed. Like one week they could have it, the next week they could not. Like I've seen both. I'm not too concerned about this. Them having the DRC, it's just like weird, right? Like they have like some, I don't know. It just seems like they're just like it's like almost like throwing darts, right? Like one DRC, two shredders, three. Um, yeah, I mean to be fair, ours is like green fire, right? It's just like you cannot. There's like no cohesion. It's just like, which makes it harder for us to play around. Like we don't know if we're playing around Wasteland or not. I feel like we probably should win that game, but we. I'm not sure we boarded correctly, which is hard because we don't know they're on Wasteland. I think number two. Hey, Ramar, how's it going? Why? I think the Delver matchup for Elves is actually fine. Like if anything, I probably blame that second game on me for not like we didn't play the Heritage Druid and we just got completely punished for it. Otherwise, we win that game. Like we were one short suddenly. Looks like Reanimator.
We are dead. The problem is, yeah, we can't guarantee. Well, I guess maybe with Shredder, we just assume the deck is slower. I think right. Okay, so I don't know if you count that as part of the Delver or not because that list didn't even play Delver. But me, like, I'll bring it up actually. I don't. I think that was the first game I lost to UR in quite a long time. So it's like lately it's been like 80 or whatever, right? Like, but I think more realistically, the numbers against a good opponent, especially, it's probably 60 to 70. Uh, like, let me look at my tracking right here. Sure. I'll bring it up. My tracking right now. Here's my tracking. The last 6 matches against Delver, 6-0. Granted, I don't track when I stream, so that's like off stream, right? Obviously, but oops. Thank you, so strong. Yeah, I think I blame myself anything for the previous game. I probably misboarded. Yeah, Max Thorson joked with me like he said because he saw my win rate against Doomsday was like 80%. He's like, "There's no way Elves is 80% against Doomsday." He said it's probably more like 50-50 because he has to adjust for the Newton factor, which is pretty funny. I mean, it's definitely a nice compliment, I would say. I mean, he's obviously a good friend of mine too. This is Max Thorson, aka Max Gilmore. All right, we're dead. I probably would have conceded earlier too if I wasn't looking at chat, like noticing that there's like no out to this, right? Um, so actually on Bad Mental Misstep, I think I saw so Inigo has access to the data because he does data collection. He was on streaming earlier. Could you put on? Could you resume what's on your Patreon? I saw that you have an Elves sequencing post. But I didn't look. Yeah, I do. It's the part one. I'll actually bring it up after this match because I'll give people a sneak peek for because this is the sneaky peek. But I'll give a sneak peek after this. Just remind me, in case people are curious of subscribing to Patreon. My Patreon is only $5. I have like a $10, $15 tier as well, but that's more if you just want to tip me or like support me for my content. There's priority in terms of like the higher tiers if you want me to review your matches, but I review people who are just have regular subscription too because there's like no waiting list. So I review like Inigos or Yurgs or whoever's right. Uh, what was I gonna say? I think sequencing. I mentioned this for Elves players, like especially people who are just picking up this deck for the first time, or I see this with like Neroseno players, where they make mistakes. I would say within the first 2 turns of the game, and usually the turn one mistake you can probably get away with it. Oftentimes I don't think so, but I could be wrong. My logic is I don't want them to thought seize this and reanimate it, but I could be convinced otherwise. What do you think, Unbanned? Like my logic for not bringing it, I don't want them to reanimate this. I don't care if they reanimate the other stuff in our deck. We'll submit here. Oh, I was going back to the data collection. I think I saw Elves is 43% in the last month against Blue Red. I don't think that's the actual number. I think it's probably if you adjust for like
you can't play perfectly, but let's just say near optimal play, like 90%. Oh yeah, you could do that. I have like a metagame update too. Like if you just want that, you can just like if you, and you don't have a Twitch account that subscription you're using. I think this is a keep. This is like pretty gas. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so if you just subscribe here, like Unbad Mental Misstep did, I'll just send you the metagame update like via Discord. I do think though, one of the ways you beat a deck. Okay, we did draw it. Nice. Grief into looting. Do we care if they grief us here? I suspect probably not. I think we take the looting so there's no. Which option is better for you? I think it's what I saw. No worries. I think I saw the thing. The better option for me is I only get 50% of Twitch subscriptions. I get almost the full amount for Patreon. So that's personally better for me. If you want to like me to get more of the proceeds, I guess. Here we just slam down Reclaimer. I just love that this is like a one card win, right? Against these graveyard decks. We need to draw a land though, but that's a different story. Yeah. So the other thing is like, you get my sideboard maps too, and there's like a special Patreon Discord channel, so channel within the Discord that I run for Patreon subscriptions. So you get to see what the latest tech I'm testing or whatnot. What did they pitch? Really? Jesus. Okay. That is unfortunate. Yikes. I mean, there's a chance we take the grief, I guess, but like, I think that's like low ceiling. Like, we don't want them to loot the Archon too, right? No, actually, this matchup is favorable. It's just like sometimes this can happen. I found this matchup actually favorable for Elves because of Reclaimer and a fast clock and endurance. And there's an argument to be made. Maybe we're supposed to let them walk into the maybe we're supposed to let them walk into the endurance, but you mean have to take the faithless looting, right, Mike? Or like there's an argument for taking the grief, but I think looting was right. Iona. See the thing, but the thing is like the grief takes our shield there, which is the endurance, and maybe by taking the grief, they have to top deck into protection, right? Like they get a pitch, but we don't actually have to do anything until, well, I guess they can. I guess they can Thoughtseize and then with the Arc on the yard, and we have to do it preemptively, so then it would be even. So I agree. I think if you assume you have to discard first and force us, it's still a 2 for 1. Yeah, 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 for sure. All right, we're dead. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's tough. Like the logic there is they need a discard outlet, and they drew one, but then the other line is a blowout, right? Like if we take away their grief, um, well, let me think. They can draw into the discard spell if we take the grief by looting, pitch the thing, and then we have to do it in response. Otherwise, we're not gonna get a chance to do it later on. And then they would need another discard outlet. Yeah, I actually think we misplayed it there. The hand was like kind of different, but I think we did misplay it there. Actually, I'm bringing back up the stats here. Oops, wrong one. Reanimator. Let's see. It was okay. I guess it dropped 40%. There was a point where it was like 7-2 or whatever the last few days, but maybe not as good lately. We have cut like let's see. So maybe, but my thought is if you take grief, they looting, which puts endurance target in the yard, so that puts us ahead, right? Uh, yeah, they go for it. They thought we can still do a response, but then that means that they keep shockling. This is a Merfolk player. I know because they salted at me the other day. Not only did they salt at me, they also salted at Testacular because they faced us back to back. I guess that is surprise fitting, right? Just came back, stay 5-0. That's true. I didn't think of it that way, Star Fox. This is the last match of the night. That can't be right. Steam Vents pass. Does E Landon drop when he loses a match? I don't think. I don't think so anymore. So my experience with Eric Landon is, he concedes when he thinks he's like pretty low chance to win the game to save time. So what I mean by that is like if I untap with a reclaimer, he's not gonna play it out. He's gonna concede. That was a little risky actually for me to go for it there. Like, but I'm like somewhat autopiloting at the moment. This game is over. I think we'll just pass here. This doesn't matter. We kind of want them to waste us. But even back in the day when he streamed and made content. Uh, ooh. think we let the heritage die. We just want gas. You can have the 2 for 1. Like even with that's a yeah. I mean, I from what I understand at least with Eric, my experience playing against him is he will concede when like it's like 90-10, right? Like I have a reclaimer untapped. Sure, maybe he can get through it, but it's unlikely, so he just concede and then go on to the next game or next match. Another thing he will do is because he is very proficient in the kill. Sure, that saves a lot of time too. Like he knows exactly what to do. Like I play against some of these reanimator players. They have Gristlebrand and they take like 10 minutes to figure out how to win. So that's the other thing that's different about Eric. He's not gonna take 10 minutes to figure out how to win Gristlebrand. Did we just play that? Probably just get the endurance. The game is more than over. Sure. So either they have force plus pitch here, or they probably have to do it on the endurance to be honest. Or they have Murktide potentially. I don't think so though. Or did they play Waste? Never mind. All right, it's even easier. Yep. All right. That was easy enough. Fort Ball presumably targeted Elves hate, right? Like, what else could it be? Let's try to end on a positive note here. We put it. I hate punting to the reanimator player, but I definitely think we learned something. And as crazy as it sounds, I'm okay with that loss because I think we learned taking the grief is probably correct there, and we just misplayed. And it's a little bit non-intuitive too. Our opponent notably drew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards because, like I said, this person salted at not only me but Testacular the other day. They were on Merfolk and then they just like played us back to back and got ran over by Shepard. The problem I see with Forkbolt is better than Mirror, but it is good against Elves, which is on the rise. I think at least. But the thing is, like, it's weird. There's this that weird dynamic. I think. So actually, I'll ask the audience here. If you're playing in a tournament, are you gonna expect to play against these Nettle players, or do you think the majority of the challenge lists that are gonna be on Reclaimer? Because I've noticed, I don't play in the challenges, but just from what I've seen, the results as of late, minus a few sprinkles, are mostly Reclaimer, like namely Jorg doing well. But if you look at leagues, it's the complete opposite, in my opinion. And especially if you look on paper, it's almost all Nettle Sentinel. So I think it's like, do you hedge towards the Reclaimer build, or do you hedge towards the traditional list, right? I'd be curious what people's thoughts were. Oh,
Oh, I appreciate that MTG so strong. I think here, probably take the shepherd. The shepherd, yeah. Appreciate that as well. Unbanned mental misstep. I think what happens is, and this is an observation. Obviously, I could be wrong. I just think because there's a high learning curve, that's why the other version tends to be more popular. Like this version, you kind of have to be pretty clean on your glimpse chains. Sure. I think we're okay with that. Like we do that, and then we're gonna visionary. Hopefully, we'll just like rough tumble or something here. Did already force? It's not the end of the world. We drew off the visionary. So fork bolt, sure. I guess it's even then. We're gonna fire off the glimpse here. Soulstrong notably plays, for those curious, if I'm correct, I believe you play Amulet Titan. Is that accurate, or am I forgetting? I don't think I want to block. I think I want to fire off this glimpse. Draw a creature here. Yep, that's what I want. I think here, notably, fire off the glimpse. See what happens. Grixis Shadow. Okay, so I stand corrected. I was wrong. Okay, so maybe that's why I thought of it. For some reason, I was like, it's either one or the other. I just couldn't remember which. Again, if you have to think during the glimpse chain, probably need to brush up on glimpse in general. This card is low key insane in the Delver matchup, Virtual Rangers. Okay, I'm glad I'm not imagining it. Alright, we're a little soft to a rough tumble or whatever here, but even if they have it, it's not the end of the world. And if they don't, they just lose, right? Or they just lose for no reason there. I don't know why they tapped out. I guess it's over anyways. Alright, we're gonna bash for 1,000,000 right now. Is this one free? Yes. Alright, we went 3-2, unfortunately, both leagues. I'm trying to remember what we lost to. We lost a Reanimator, I know. Well, yeah, we lost a Reanimator, and then probably misplay, but something to learn. So I'm not too disappointed about that. I think I'm of the I subscribe to the idea that you use these leagues to tune up, so to speak. And I think the fact that we learned something, I can live with losing here. It's not a big deal. What did we lose to here? Let's see. Oh, I think here we just misboarded, or just our pacing was all wrong against this deck that doesn't play Wasteland. So I might have to think about how I want to address this matchup in terms of like what to sideboard in and out. Yeah, thank you for that. Actually, Soul Strong, you should have mod access. They're very helpful. Also, big fan of yours from afar. I only play a little bit of modern. The big interval was when I was playing Green White Reclaimer, getting ready for the Magic Online Championships. Right. That's probably like pretty fun deck that I enjoyed playing. I could have played Europod at the time, but just didn't appeal to me as I guess right being a green player. Uh, but yeah, I think we probably misplayed against the whatever player, the reanimator, and maybe misboarded here. But I have to think about how I want to address this. And if we can guarantee they're not on wasteland, I think there is a lot of worth in just keeping in the natural order package. So we can just go over the top of their ledger shredder, right? No worries about that. The moderation here is by committee. There's a lot of people with, let's just say, mod access, right? But yeah, I think the list is good. Pro- I think okay, so I think Reanimator. I think Unbad Mental Misstep is like not completely wrong. At one point, it was probably the worst match. Like historically speaking, it's probably the Elf worst matchup. And I think between Reclaimer, between Endurance, it's probably like slightly favored right now in my opinion. Like you'll lose game one, but should be pretty favored post board. It was better before, but we've cut on slots. I actually beat it earlier tonight, before this league, and beat it kind of easily too. The post board games, but I think there is because we don't run Layla anymore. We run traps, and there's no like, discard with duress or anything like that. It's a little bit harder, but they have to kind of high roll us to beat us, and most of the time post board that's not gonna happen. And we're not a complete dog game one against Reanimator. Like we randomly beat her in the previous league, because we happen to have the natural endurance like by chance, right? Or you can go on the play Reclaimer and they don't have the turn one. You just untap, win the game, but again by chance. But yeah, I think the agent we didn't have too much use for it today. We boarded it in but never saw it. I think the other stuff I'm pretty happy about to be honest. I don't think there's anything worth changing. Who should we raid here? Strategist. I know they rated us before, so I think I'll go ahead and do that. Did anybody have any questions for this list? If I were to play the showcase, which I am unsure if I'm going to play to be honest, because I have a personal matter to take care of on Sunday. Unless that clears out, I'm not playing. But if I were to play, I'd probably play something along these lines right now. If you feel like you need the extra help against lands, and for some reason, if you think that's going to be on the rise, I would probably try to fit in a Force of Vigor. Depends if you want to hedge or not against combo. Like you can cut the traps or you can cut the agents, but the agent is also good against lands. Yeah, this is actually a question. I'm sure people have seen now, like in the last 2 weeks. Like for some reason, I've been seeing on like these chats or Discord, why in the heck are elves playing Shriek Maw? Like over the last, or I've been getting that question. It's specifically because, well, your Aaron Relentless asked me to try it, and then usually I test things before he does, and I tested it like a few weeks ago, and as it turns out, it's quite good in the blue red matchup for the fact that in the mid game you can still glimpse and apply pressure because the way it plays out, I think the Delver pilot typically wants to be hellbent on keeping you off mana, and you get to the mid game where you want to reload with glimpse, and suddenly you have a removal spell or like just like random endurances that you cannot really glimpse efficiently. So Shriek Ball helps with it with glimpse sequencing specifically, so that you can. The goal is you want to glimpse before they cast expressive iteration because if you do, the game is probably over. Because your ancestral recall is going to resolve, and suddenly they're playing defense, and they can't really
tap out for expressive iteration, right? Like, and if they want to force it pitching iteration, that's fine with us too. They're down a card. Um, so that is the main reason. It's also can be found with Once Upon a Time, and effectively only one mana if you have Cradle, and we have Cradle every game. So almost every game, this is going to be a one mana removal spell against whatever deck you're playing against, whether that be DNT, um, Delver, whatever, right? Like a lot of times, this is just one mana because of Guy's Cradle and evoke trigger on the stack. You just tap the Guy's Cradle, right? So those are the main reasons. Like you get all the bonuses. The fact that this is a creature, so Guy's Cradle matters. Once Upon a Time matters. Glimpse of Nature matters. So all the inherent creature synergies you get, and a lot of people think this is a joke, right? Like why is so many Elves players playing it? But it actually plays out really well, and I'm surprised we didn't think of it. Well, I it's like twofold, right? Like the only reason why we can play Shriekmaw is because of Baseju, and Baseju only got recently printed in Kamigawa. Before we had to play Assassin's Trophy because we had to hit random things like GTA or whatnot. But with Baseju in the deck now, you don't really have to worry about that as much. And because we're allowed to play flexible removal, you can play Snuff Out, which is like good against the creature combo decks. Uh, but Snuff Out lines up kind of poorly against Delver because it's good turn one, but it's a terrible top deck, which is like the antithesis of this deck, right? Like this is built on all good top decks, outside of obviously Progenitus. Uh, we switched to Murderous Cut, which was decent. The problem is with the discovery of Shriekmaw, Shriekmaw is almost like a better Murderous Cut because Shriekmaw is not that great against creature combo, which Murderous Cut is not as well. But Shriekmaw, you get all these creature bonuses against decks like DNT and Delver. Um, so this is just like a better, in my opinion, Murderous Cut. Granted, at sorcery speed because you get all the bonuses, and it doesn't come up that often, but you can hard cast it like for full value. It's like usually by the time you could do that, you probably already won. Um, yeah, that's the main reason. Anybody else have questions? That's I get this question a lot lately. Like, why are we playing Streak Mode? That's the reason. If I were to pinpoint, it's like specifically because of Glimpse of Nature sequencing. I would say Oof is not a flex spot. I think we want it main because again, being a creature means the ceiling is high. It's a two mana. Sorry, the floor is high. It's a two mana bear, right? Like you get all the natural order, Guy's Cradle, Glimpse of Nature. All the creature synergies matter. And B, it is literally three mana with Greenstone Zenith win target game against a lot of decks. The big one is 8 cast. They just like auto lose this deck. Well, not auto lose, but a lot of hands just cannot beat this. It's good against GTA. It can randomly hit Mox Diamond. It's good against Aether Vial. Just a lot of juices I've found for Collector Oof. The flex spot I would say is the endurance because a lot of times you're not going to be tutoring for it. So if you want the main deck Progenitus is fine. A question I sometimes get is Caracas in the main. Why not? Because this is not a creature, it's significantly worse. The floor is so low on this. So yeah, you can play the Progenitus main in my opinion and swap out the endurance. I think that's fine. Uh, I do not really consider Ufa as flexible. I would play it main. The ceiling is just way too high, and I think the floor is pretty high too. Um, yeah, I would say yeah. The endurance is the main slot. You want to play Progenitus main. I think if there's no combo in your metagame, you can cut the mind rip traps. It's not a big deal. Uh, I think that locked sideboard cards are probably the Thought Seizes. I think the Shrimal is like more or less locked at the moment. The Endurance, the Progenitus, the Caracas, and I think these four cards are like flex. You can play whatever you want in these slots. Uh, in paper metas, I like Force of Vigor a lot. And the crop rotation is also quite good because I think there's more lands in paper. I like Mindbreak Trap because there tends to be a lot of Doomsday and Ant players online. So, and I don't want to play too much discard because you kind of open yourself up potentially to Veil Summer. So the traps have been kind of nice. Yeah, I also expect a lot of Delver for the showcase, and if there was more control, I probably would have swapped out the Endurance for the Progenitus. But because Delver is the most popular deck for the showcase, I personally like this configuration better because I don't want to accidentally lose game one to Delver by drawing Progenitus. I think there is going to be some people playing the Bobble version with no Wasteland, and I will probably hope to run into it. If I don't, I'll probably ask somebody to test. But my gut tells me at the moment is because they don't run Wasteland, I probably want to keep a natural order package. Like as you saw that game right there, it was a little bit awkward. Like they were a little bit bigger than us when we're trying to be a little bit bigger than Delver with our endurances, right? The shredders being bigger than endurances, but I think to go over them, we play the natural orders. If you see Wasteland, you definitely cut the natural orders. And days, in my opinion. So that is what I'm leaning at the moment. If that is the trend that they don't have the Wastelands, right? And I don't think Theo's list played Wasteland. I'm friends with Theo, so he told me. This is Theo Jung we're talking about. Actually, on the topic of Theo, low key, we both went to Berkeley, so that's another reason why I like Theo. So, anybody else have any questions? Yeah, I would probably play pretty much this exact 75 right now for the showcase. And part of the reason why I'm playing Agent is because suddenly we have to care about the mirror now, right? No problem, so strong. Like, there is a good argument to be made, at least Elves is potentially the second best deck in Legacy. There's a couple of other arguments, obviously, but uh, Elves had quite the last few weeks, right? All right, let's go ahead and rate Strategist. I think unless there's somebody else you want to. There's also the Tunneling Cat. So they're on each run. If there's no lean either way, I'll go ahead and rate Strategist. And thank you everybody for tuning in. Unfortunately, we lost that 5-0 match to Oops All Spells, but you know, so is life. Such is life.